This week I'm driving the 2022 Volvo Xc60 Inscription B6 all-wheel drive. For 2022, the Xc60 received a small refresh. You really have to notice the refresh. It still looks like the old Xc60 from my point of view. This model is an Inscription model. If you step up to the R design model, you can notice a little bit more the new design of this generation of Xc60, but slight design changes here in the headlights and all that, but pretty much it looks all the same. So the Xc60 is the right in the middle size for the Volvo lineup, right in the between the Xc40 and the Xc90. So if we step in the back, same design pretty much, no major changes here. So that's pretty much, the refresh for this generation of Volvo Xc60. Trunk-wise, decent amount of space for the trunk. We've got a little door to pass through our skis. Really practical. We can fold down the seats. Typical, trunk for this type of SUV. So here, we also have this entrance who's completely flat. My wife loves that. And there's a lot of things inside of this Xc60 my wife really likes. I think it's kind of like a woman's choice. If we step in the back, decent amount of space. I'm not really able to fit behind myself. Had to put the seat a little bit forward. Decent amount of space for my head. Nice, sunroof, big panoramic roof. For this size of SUV, it's pretty decent, but we have this little step in the middle row here. So if you try to carry 3 adults in the back, it won't be the best scenario. Maybe 3 kids, but that little step in the middle have to go in 2022. Under the hood, it's a Volvo. It's always complicated under the hood. We can find a 4-cylinder direct injected turbocharged engine matched with an electric supercharger. Also, we've got an integrated starter generator called the ISG. So it's good for 295 horsepower and 310 foot-pounds of torque. We can add also 13 horsepower due to the ISG. So the ISG is basically a mild hybrid system. It's gonna add you some power and smooth driving. These systems are similar a little bit like the ones we found under the hood of a Ram 1500 from my point of view. So this engine is matched to an 8-speed transmission. So once again, super complicated. I don't know why Volvo always puts so much stuff under their hood. It seems too complicated from my point of view. I'm gonna go on the road to see if it has more performance, more fuel economy, more smoothness while driving, or it does maybe nothing. We'll see. All right, on the road with the Volvo Xc60 B6 Inscription all-wheel drive. First of all, what you really notice behind the wheel of this Volvo is the comfort on the road. The suspension, it's an air suspension, first of all, and we've got those amazing Volvo seats, really comfortable on the road. Probably in my top 3, even probably it's top 1 most comfortable SUV in this size of SUV. Super relaxing. If you're a big guy like me, those seats are just perfect. The ride is just wonderful. But driving dynamics, you have to do some sacrifice. The handling is okay. You don't have any fun performance feature like you'll find in a BMW or a Genesis products. There's no paddle shifter, there's no sport plus modes. It's really focused on the comfort. Performance wise, this thing is not slow, it's not quick, it's not fun to drive like a BMW. The power delivery is kind of strange. We've got a lot going on under the hood. from my point of view, it's way too much things under the hood. Supercharged electric, turbocharged, direct injection, mild hybrid system and all that. It's way too complicated for nothing. The performance is not really improved, and sometimes, you know, it gets kind of funky when you're expecting you to push the vehicle. You know, the calibration on this Volvo, sometimes it doesn't respond right away. Not sure is it because of the electric supercharger or too many things is going on under the hood with the transmission. Driving dynamics wise, you know, if you push it, if you want some performance, you won't be satisfied. If you just drive it normally, relaxed, just to appreciate the comfort, it works pretty well. But if you're a little bit more, you know, pushy, techie like me, you like to appreciate your powertrain, some nice engine sounds and all that, you won't find anything here really special to satisfy your need under the hood. And design-wise, especially this one's an Inscription model. From my point of view, there's not a big, you know, difference between a 2021 and a 2022. I think Volvo should have done something a little bit more than that to make a difference between their models, especially this one's a mid-cycle refresh. You know, and exterior-wise, they should have done something a little bit more. Inside of this Volvo Xc60, it's all pretty clear and simple, modern. It's really an interior who's gonna please the women's. You know, everything is like light. You know, we got that crystal shifter, that, you know, light wood and all that, all the little details inside. It's not, you know, manly, I could say. You know, behind the wheel of this Volvo this week, I really feel like I'm driving the SUV of my wife or the SUV of my mom or my grandma or something like that. I don't really feel like, if someone see me behind the wheel of this truck, especially with that interior, I really feel it's not my SUV. But it's really nice, and I'm sure it's gonna please a lot of women out there, and some guys too. It's not my cup of tea. You know, I like it a little bit more rough, a little bit more buttons, a little bit more darker inside. Obviously, you can have different style inside of this SUV. But overall, you know, these seats are amazing. Those are one of my favorite seats on the market. We've got a nice digital dashboard in front of us. The screen works pretty well. There's some stuff missing with that screen, and I was not able to find the Sirius radio. Now, I'm not even sure if there's a Sirius radio inside of this Volvo. There's a lot of things going on with the Google. You know, you can say, hey Google, and it's gonna respond to you. Right now it's not connected, but you know, we tried that system before in the XC40. It works pretty well. We got a place to recharge our phone. Pretty strange place to put your phone. You know, it can easily slip out of that specific charging port. We've got a nice panoramic roof also. Inside, it's pretty, you know, quiet and relaxing. We've got a really good sound system. But overall, it needs to be a little bit more manly from my point of view. Fuel economy wise, this week I was averaging 10 liters per 100 kilometers. Not really impressed. You know, we've got so much things going on under the hood, and we don't have any big benefits on the performance and not either on the fuel economy side. So why, you know, Volvo is going to that extent to put everything like super electric supercharger, mild hybrid system and all that, and still we're not able to manage some fuel economy numbers. I'm not impressed. Kind of, it's a big disappointment for me this week. I think probably just a normal V6 or a big, strong 4-cylinder turbo would have done the same job, fuel economy-wise and performance-wise. And on the long run, you know, from my point of view, when it's really complicated like that, there's way much more chance something's gonna break. So I think Volvo should consider to put something a little bit less complicated under the hood and not trying to make it super complicated, because even they're doing all these things under the hood, we don't have any result on the performance and the fuel economy. So why putting all those things? Price-wise, the model I'm driving this week, it's good for $75,650. Pretty expensive. You know, this one's pretty well equipped. It's an Inscription model with, you know, the air suspension and all that. You know, when we're stepping in that price range, 75,000 and more, there's plenty of choice with the competition. Just the ones I drove lately, the Genesis GV70 Sport Plus, even the BMW X3 M40i and all that, they were about the same price as this Volvo. From my point of view, style-wise, the Genesis GV70 is crushing this Volvo, you know, exterior-wise, interior-wise, and all of that. On the BMW side, if you like performance, driving dynamics, you know, playing with your modes and all that, it's way much more fun than this Volvo. The big plus of these products, it's really, you know, the comfort on the road, the seats, also the safety and all of that. If you're a little bit more like me, you like the driving dynamics, you like to have like a nice powertrain, simple with a nice sound, maybe this Xc60 is not for you. One thing was really cool about this Xc60 is the off-road mode. With the air suspension, you can raise the suspension. So if you're in a rougher path, rougher road, you can raise the suspension, then you're in off-road mode. It works pretty well. The all-wheel drive works good. And also, you know, when you press on that button, it kind of do everything off-road wise with just a push of a button. And also activate the hill descent assist. So while you're, you know, driving down a hill, it's gonna slow down the vehicle for you. So it's kind of like, you know, one press of a button for, you know, anyone who doesn't know anything about the off-road, but they want to give their Volvo a little bit more capacity off-road wise. It's pretty cool. You know, overall, you know, this Volvo is really nice to drive. Obviously, it's expensive. There's tons and tons of other SUV on the market you can have for the same price. Especially here where I live in Canada, there's not a lot of Volvo dealership. So that can play, you know, in your purchase game, I could say. Sometime on the long run, having something with so many gadgets under the hood, air suspension and all that, you can run into some trouble. So maybe I would consider more to rent this Xc60 than actually buy it. But let me know in the comments, do you think this Volvo Xc60 is at the same level as the competition like BMW, Genesis and all that? Is the comfort a priority for you? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and we're going to see each other on our next review.